Good evening to all of you. And today we have this session on a company that is one of the large multinational, Indian multinational IT company in India, which is Infosys. And we are going to discuss today the Infosys structure of the placement exams that they do. And we shall focus mainly on the IT part of the exam. Today we have Mr. Vivek Gaurav, who is the lead trainer of Constellation Training and Placement Services. And he is the person who creates all our courses, provides guidance to the students. So he will take us through the learning part. I am Ranjan Kumar Majumdar, and I am the managing director of Constellation Training and Placement Services. As you have seen, students, from the group, that our activities for you students are concentrating mainly on helping you prepare for your placements. We have courses in aptitude test preparation, like the verbal aptitude, quantitative aptitude, group discussions, personal interview, that kind of thing. And we have a lot of IT courses. We also help students with their English learning. So having said that, the idea of these weekly sessions is either we shall talk about certain IT courses and IT subjects, or we shall talk about a company, or we shall take sessions on subjects like aptitude test preparation or any soft skills kind of courses like group discussion and personal interview. Now I shall go into the subject area, and let me share my screen with you and take you through the PPT. Are you able to see the slide?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Thank you so much. So we are going to talk about Infosys and the placement process of Infosys. You might be knowing that Infosys has already advertised that they are going to conduct this test for graduates who have completed their studies this year. Having done that, this is the kind of information that they have provided. The job role is called systems engineer, and the qualification they are considering BE, BTech, ME, MTech, MCA, and MSc students. And the stream is open for all kind of students, right? And the batch which they are considering is that there should be 2021 pass out. 3.6 lakhs per annum is the salary or the CTCs. Freshers, of course, and the job location is across India, and the venue location, how they are going to conduct the test is will be basically an online test. 29 July was the date which the application was to be submitted, but now they have extended it. Now quickly I will go through the Infosys test paper. It consists of 100 minutes, and these are the breakup, and there are 5 sections in that. The section was on reasoning ability, right? So those students like you who are studying and preparing, you must be doing what is called the aptitude test preparation. Within aptitude test preparation, the reasoning part of it, which could be mathematical, which could be verbal, there is going to be 15 questions on that. Then you have the mathematical ability, where you have to solve mathematics problems, and that has about 10 questions with 35 minutes. The verbal ability part is again aptitude test with the verbal part of it, where you can get grammar, you can get details on, say, comprehension passages, those kind of things. 20 questions, 20 minutes. Pseudocode is something which Vivek sir is going to take. Now, interestingly, what we can see is that Infosys really doesn't have very detailed coding kind of tests in the first round, and they don't ask you also to write coding problems, but they have this pseudocode round, which has 5 questions and 10 minutes. And numerical puzzle is something that Infosys is famous about. And they, for all the years, we have seen that certain numerical puzzles they have given. Numerical puzzle you will find is a specific chapter that you see in aptitude test preparation. So today we are going to talk about pseudocode. If students, if you have any issues with the other areas, just write to us and we will see how we can help you, because we have courses in this, right? So with that, any questions till now, till what I have said before I hand it over to Vivek sir?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. So Vivek sir, let me see, how do I stop my sharing? Yes, I can
did
do
that,
that.
sir.
Yeah, you do that. Okay, now Vivek sir, it is up to you, and you can take the pseudocode part of the question paper of Infosys.
Okay, so first of all, good evening, Raj and Subhadeep. My name is Vivek, as Ranjan sir already said, and I started my career as a software developer. I worked for Bank of America project, and then I realized that there is a huge amount of gap between what I learned in my college days and what I was supposed to have. And with that note, I decided to jump into training and teaching. And now with Constellation, it's been like almost like 1 year that we are associated. And the whole idea is like, just to improve how your life in the corporate. First of all, to make you enter into the corporate, this is what we are trying to help you. Second thing is that once you get into that, then you should not have a huge amount of difficulty because of a huge gap between what you had learned in your college and what you will be supposed to do over there. That is the whole idea. Though today's session is more about how you enter into those companies, this is what you are targeting upon. So first of all, I would like to ask you that, do you know what is a pseudocode? Any idea about what is pseudocode?
No, sir.
Okay. I would love to have interaction with both of you. Okay, so from time to time, whenever I ask, just try to unmute yourself and answer. Don't get afraid whether it is right or wrong. That's not the whole purpose. The whole purpose is that when you're there in this session, take something away, and that can only happen when you interact. So good that you interacted. That is first thing. So now let me tell you what is pseudocode. Okay, and for that I'll be presenting my screen. And before I start going into it, let me tell you first what is pseudocode. So pseudocode, you know about languages, right? You know about C, C++, Java, Python. You know about all of them. Even if you do not know these languages, you heard about them, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Correct. Now what happens is that they have their own syntax. You know what is the meaning of this word syntax?
So programming code actually syntax.
Okay. So like in English, we have grammar, right? Correct. In Hindi, we have Vyakaran. In Bangla also, we might have something. So what do you call grammar in Bangla, sir? What is grammar in Bangla?
I think my friends, the students will be able to say better, but Bakaron, I think. Yes,
Backward.
Okay.
Bakaron,
So
yeah.
everything has their own set of rules. Like when you are driving in India, you keep it on the left side, but when you go to US, you keep it on the right side. So every company, every country, everything has their own rules. Similarly, every programming language has their own rules. Okay. So this is what called syntax. Syntax means rules of a programming language. You know that C, C++, Java to a certain extent have a similar kind of syntax. Python is completely different. It has a different set of syntax altogether, right? So now what some company feel is that rather than me bounding you with a particular syntax that you have to know this, let me take it out of that. Let me remove that boundary. So what they do is that they give you pseudocode. Now what happens with pseudocode is that it is simple English language, but it is not following a syntax of any programming language. There is no C header file, there is no library of Python, there is no semicolon or indentation of Python, there is no curly bracket of C, C++, Java, nothing like that. But having said that, right, pseudocode becomes sometimes difficult. Why? Because you need to understand the concept of them, and that will only happen when you learn any of these languages. Then only you can understand. Okay, so let me show you some sample questions and let's try to solve it together and then see how does it goes. Okay, so for that, what I'm gonna do is that, just one second. Okay. So now see, this is one pseudo code that we have. Okay. You see here we have start, and then at the end we might have stop, which is not mentioned here. And now you see how they are declaring a variable. Declare a comma I and b. And then they are writing for I equal to 0 to 4. Now, do you understand what is happening here? First of all, tell me that. Then you will come to know what is the output of that algorithm. Do you know what is happening over here?
So it is the English version of what I just write in a code manner
Very
in a
good.
program.
Very good. So first of all, tell me, Raj and Subhadev, which language you are comfortable with? Are you comfortable with C? Are you comfortable with Python? Are you comfortable with Java? Which language you are comfortable with?
Sir, I am
C, sir.
comfortable with Python.
Python. Subhadev, that was Subhadev who said Python?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Raj, what about you?
C, sir.
You are comfortable in C. So chalo, theek hai, we'll take it from time to time. We'll take both the language in particular. Chalo, now let's try to solve it together. So let me ask you, what do you think is going to be answer for this? The options are hello 4, hello, hello 3, error. These are the 4 options. And this is the question that we have over here. Okay, have a look and then think what might be happening. When you have to look at the answer, tell me, I'll change the slide, and then anyway, I'll explain you. But I would like to know your thinking, your logical approach before we go ahead. Or do you want me to go line by line and then have a discussion on that?
Yes, sir. This
have a
that will be
discussion, sir.
better. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
sure,
Go
ठीक
ahead.
है. So now in the first line, what we are doing? In the first line, what we are doing? We are
Is
declaring three
declaring the
variables,
variables.
right? And if I talk about C, so it is basically we are doing int a comma I comma b. This is what we are doing, right? This is what we are doing. Subhadeep, you are comfortable with this much at least, right? This much C you know, right? A
Yes.
basic of C. Okay,
Yes.
we will not go into much deeper. Okay, so this is what we did. Now here, what they are trying to do, they are trying to run a loop. Exactly, this is what they are doing. Are you comfortable with loops also?
Yes, sir.
Right? So they started a loop and they are running from 0 to 4. So the value of I is going to vary from, basically, if I'll write in the terms of for loop, so it is I equal to 0, I less than equal to 4, I plus plus. This is what I'm going to write in terms of C. And in terms of Python, if I write, it is basically, for I in range, right? For I in range 0 comma 4. This is what they are doing. Okay. Now, proceeding further, they are saying increment A by 1. They are incrementing the value of A, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, the point is that which value of A you will take? Which value of A you will take? They haven't said anything. They didn't say anything, right? Declare A, I, B. So what will be the value? Which value are I gonna take?
So 0 to 4. So 0.
Okay. Okay. So now you understand there can be two cases. There can be two cases. One case is that they are asking us to assume the value which A might have when you initialize it in any programming language. This is one thing that they are asking us to assume. Second thing is that there can be a typing error also. Both the things can exist. Now, typing error I will not suggest. Reason being is that they have mentioned A over here. So there is less chances of having a typing error. True?
Yes, sir.
Understanding? Now you see this question only we are coming across different perspective. One question is typing error. Second problem, the second thing is that they want us to assume, right? Third thing is that if you will see the loop, you will see the loops. You see what they are trying to do here. They are writing end for here. So the loop is getting over here, starting here, and the loop is getting over here. Throughout the loop, are they increasing the value of I anywhere? Are they
No,
increasing
sir.
the value of I anywhere?
No,
They are
sir.
not increasing the value of I anywhere, right? So we have to increase the value of I all by ourselves. Because if we have to go
Yes,
through
sir.
the loop, then the loop should get incremented, isn't it?
Yes.
Otherwise, it won't happen. Otherwise, it will become an infinite loop. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yes, sir. You are right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I am right. I am right to a certain extent, but you know what? how for loop works. For loop, you have to increment the value all by yourself, or for loop increment the value by itself. How does it work?
So by itself.
By itself. Then do I need to increment the value of I over there? Do I need to increment the value of I over there? If how do you write it in Python when you write it? Subodip, you know Python, so I'm writing for you in Python. You write for I in range 0, 4. This is what you write. Do you mention anywhere the value of I to be incremented? You know range function automatically increments by 1, right?
Yes, sir.
And Raj, when you are talking about C, you write something like this: for I equal to 0, I less than equal to 4, I plus plus. This is what you write, right? And
Yes, sir.
since this is a pseudo code, so we can assume that this part is hidden in this part itself. Since this is a pseudo code,
Yes.
correct? Understanding now how pseudo code can get into a trouble, because you might think that they have not implemented I, and you will be thinking that it is going to get into an infinite loop. And when you look into the option, you don't have an option of infinite loop itself. So you might go with an error saying that, okay, there can be an error over there. But let's ignore that possibility. The chances of it giving you an error is very less. Okay. Now let's talk about the 3 options that we have: hello 4, hello, and hello 3. Now have a look here, and now you think what is going to happen, and what is the meaning of this get out of loop when this code is going to get executed, because this is going to play an important role in you having the value of A when this line is going to get executed. Or what this word in the programming, in the actual programming language means: get out of the loop. What is that keyword?
Sir, the loop will be stopped there.
What is that
So,
keyword that
actually
we
break,
use?
actually break in
Very
Python.
good, very good. It is break, and it is just not break in Python, it is break in any other programming language. Break remains break only in C, C++, Java, Python, C#, everywhere it remains break only. So now it is gonna break. Now what is the condition of break? I equal to 3. When the value of I becomes 3, it is gonna get out of the loop, and before that it is gonna print hello. So basically what happened is that anyway I'm gonna get hello. This is absolutely true. So now all the 3 options had hello. Now they have 4 here, they have 3 here, they don't have anything. And at the end, if you will see, they are printing I also. They are printing I also, right? So with
Yes,
what
sir.
value of I you are coming out? When you are coming out of the loop, what will be the value of AI?
So
Hello,
the i's
3.
value have not incremented yet, so it must be 0 or nothing, according to me.
This is Raj, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Raj, if I value is not incremented, then you will never reach this point and you will never come out of the loop. If you are taking it in that way. True?
Okay,
Because this
sir.
condition will never be met. Now, if the I value is starting from 0 and if it is not incremented any time, then will it ever reach 3? It will always be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and it will go into an infinite loop. Correct? And we
Yes, sir. Yes,
ignored
sir.
that possibility. Right?
Yes, sir.
So it means
Yes.
this particular line is getting executed. Then only you are coming out of the loop. And when this particular line is getting executed, what is the value of I?
3.
3. So we already executed this line. So we got hello. And now we are executing this line. So the value of I that was there was what? 3. So what should be your answer?
Hello.
Hello, 3. That should be your answer. Right?
Yes, sir.
Understanding? This is the correct answer if you will run there. Here, like, if you will see that here it is marked yellow, but actually the options have been changed. That is the reason. So you ignore that part. But the correct answer is hello 3. This is what the answer is. Now, let's come to the next question, which is much bigger than what we did before, which is much bigger. Okay, and let's try to understand this question. See the length of the question. Do you people know what is dry run, by the way? Any idea about what is dry run?
No, sir.
Okay, Raj, you know what is dry run?
So just like this, we compile the code in by ourselves, not in terminal.
Right. That these days what's happening is that we have that luxury of almost I won't say almost everyone, but like, you know, a 60 to 70% of the people who are there in the colleges, they have that like access to laptop or a desktop. But when we were learning, coding, computer was a very luxurious item. Only a section of people used to have that, right? And then also we learned coding. How did we do that? Through the help of notebook and pen, right? And now dry run is a very old concept. What happens in dry run is that you write the program and then you try to go through the output in your notebook. And how do you do that? You make a table. You make a table and you note down all the variables, and then you go through each line and then keep updating the value of the variables in the table. Okay, this is what dry run is. So if you do not know dry run, you are going to, you know, very less chances is that you are going to solve this problem, and that too correctly. You might take a random guess. Okay, you might take a random guess. Okay, I did something and I don't know what I did. I guess I started recording. Let me just close this part, discard. Okay, wait. I'll start the screen sharing once again. Huh? Okay. So yes, we were talking about this problem. I hope all of you can see the screen once again, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, any idea about dry run? No? How are you going to solve this question, by the way? Will you take a random guess at the examination? Be honest, okay? Be honest with us and just tell me, like, do you know how to solve this problem so that I can help you out? Or you are going to take a random guess so that I know that, you know, from where I need to start? Because I need to know what you know. Then only I can, you know, tell you what is the right approach.
Sir, if it takes a much longer time, so I will go for the random answer.
These are the random answers, and these are the 4 options that you have: 9, 18, 15, 6, 33, 9, 9, 33, 6. How do you want to take a random option?
Yes, sir, between them.
Between them, any one of them. Huh? Subhadeep, what about you?
I think random answer always not will be correct because I think
Absolutely true. Not always it is going to be correct, right? Not always it is going to be correct. Okay. Now, before I come into this problem, okay. Now, what I would suggest you is that when you have practiced,
if in any exam will be of negative marking, then it will be very big problem. Random
correct.
choose random.
That risk will always be there, right? So now, first of all, if you do not know, like how to go with a pseudo code, so when you practice it, what you do is that you convert that code into a language which you know. Okay, you convert that code into a language which you know, like Subhadeep knows Python, Raj knows C. So you try to convert this code into a C language or a Python language. Now this is for practice. In the examination, you might not have that luxury. But how will you know that? You will come to know about it with practice, right? So you, first of all, you know, what you do is that you convert it into a code, Python code, which is not giving you an error, compilation error, right? It is running you. Then you see the output. Okay, then you see the output. And then what you do is that then you try to debug if you know how to debug the code, or then you try to run the process, because randomly if you will do anyway, you will not do. And this is the approach that I am going to teach you. What I did is that I converted this code to Python. Okay, I converted this code to Python. Why? Because it was very simple, right? Set x is equal to 3, that became x equal to 3, right? Set y equal to 90, I wrote y equal to 90. And then what I did is that I wrote the same while loop which they have asked me to do. Then I wrote the same while loop which they have asked me to do. I wrote the same if condition which they have given me. And then I tried to print the value of C which they wanted me to do. And then what happened is that when I did that, I got an answer of 933 and 6. Now, if I am a student, I got to know that this is the correct answer. Now I will try to understand what is happening so that next time when these kind of questions comes, I know what is the right approach, right? So what I'm going to do for you is that I'm going to do the same thing. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to copy this code, okay? Rather than, you know, wasting a lot of time in typing, I'm going to copy this code and I'm writing it here. Okay, writing it here. And unfortunately, I'm getting a lot of errors because of the indentation and everything, I believe.
Sir, we cannot see your code editor.
Okay, you cannot see my code editor. Okay, then I'll share the screen once again, sir. Can you see now?
Yes.
Okay, all of you can see it now, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm just converting this code into Python. What I'm doing, I just copied that what was there, and then I'm just trying to correct everything what is mentioned over here. That's the only thing I'm doing, nothing else. Okay, and then what I'll do is that we'll try to understand what is happening in each and every line. This is what we are going to try to do. Let me just correct it, and then we will go ahead with it. Raj, any idea about Python you have, or you are completely blank on Python?
So I have some idea,
Huh.
but don't know the advance, or I have not practiced it yet.
So you know what we
I
are
don't
doing here,
practice.
or you are thinking like why this colon is there and why these lines are there? You know what is these things?
Yes, so this is a loop
Right.
of
This
a
basically
loop is going, and if and if
right.
else
And the
condition.
way you write if and you create a block, right? Using C and C++.
Yes,
Here
sir.
in Python, you do not have these blocks. You give a block like this with colon and then your indentation. This is the space that you give. This is called
Okay, okay.
indentation. That creates a block over there. Okay. So now
Okay,
when
sir.
I run this code with the value which they have given, if I run this code, wait. Why there is an error coming? Iteration is not defined. Can you see the answer that I'm getting? 933 and 6.
Yes, sir.
And this was one of the options there we had 933 and 6.
Yes, sir.
Right? Now let's try to understand what is happening. Okay, let's try to understand what is happening. So now, like which editor do you use for, do you know what is debugging, by the way, any one of you? Hmm? Do you know what is
No, sir.
debugging the code?
To match the test case.
Not exactly test case. Debugging is like more of a dry run, but debugging you do in an editor, and then you go with the flow of the program and try to understand. Dry run is something for your notebook. Debugging is that when you have that editor, then you go with the flow of the program and understand. So now we are going to debug the code. Okay. Now you see what's happening. So when the first time x is starting, x is 3 and y is 90, right? You look at this yellow line which is denoting, and you keep a look at these value which is there. Can you see this value on the left hand side where I'm moving my cursor?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
the
sir.
current value of x is 3, the y value is 90, right? Now what happened is that your condition was true. That's the reason it went inside, because y is greater than 0, right? And y you started with 90. Then what you are doing is that y equal to y divided, 2 times slash and then 3. Anyone knows what is this 2 times slash?
The dividation.
Yes, this is called floor division in Python, which actually gives you the integer part when you divide a number by the other number. So 90 divided by 3 gives you 30. You got y value got updated with 30. Now what you are doing is that you are increasing the value of x by 6. So x was 3, so it should become 9. The value of x became 9, correct? Then you are adding x plus y. So what was x, what was y? X is 9, y is 30. So when you add these two, it becomes 39. Now you have another condition, c greater than 30. Your y c value is 39. So this condition is also true. It will come inside, and now you are checking c modulus c equal to 0. When you divide 39 by 3, what is the remainder?
0, sir.
0. So it will come inside and is gonna print, and is printing x. What is the value of x that you have? 9. So it printed 9. You see here, 9 got printed. Can you see here? Earlier it was blank. Now
Yes,
9
sir.
got printed here. Then it is doing c equal to c divided by 5. So when you divide 39 by 5, what is the integer part of it? When you divide 39 by 5, what is the integer part of that? The integer part is gonna be 7.
7.
So is c greater than 30 now? Is 7 greater than 30? No.
No, sir.
No. So the condition is false. Now the point is that from here, where the compiler will go, where the interpreter, where this yellow line will go, it will come to line number 30 because this condition is false, or it will go somewhere else. There is a loop within a loop. This is called nested loop. Where it is going to go now from here? It will go to the outer loop that you have, because the inner loop condition is false. The outer loop still exists. So you see it went back to inner loop, outer loop, right? And your y value is 30 now, which is still greater than 0. It is going to come back again, repeat the same process. This time it is going to divide it by 3 once again. So this time your y will become 10. Now x will increase by 6. So x value is becoming 15. C value is going to be x plus y, which is going to be 25. This time your condition C greater than 30 is false. So it will not go there. It will go back to the while loop again, right? Because this condition was false. C value was 25, which was not greater than 30. So it did not come inside. It went back to the condition that y is still greater than 0 because y is 10. When it came inside, this time it became y divided by 3. So when 10 is divided by 3, the integral part is going to be 3 only. Now x is equal to x plus 6, so it became 21. C is equal to x plus y. It became 24 now, right? It became 24, right? See, it became 24. Is the condition greater than 0 now? No, still it will go back again, and it kept on moving. This time again, 3 divided by 3 is going to be 1, right? X became this time how much? It will become, x will become 27. And now when you look at C, which is going to be x plus y, it is going to be 28, right?
Yes.
So it became 28. Is the value greater than 0 now? No, right? Now what happened is that it went back again. Y is 1. It is still greater than 0. It will come inside the loop one more time. And this time it is going to come. When you divide 1 divided by 3, right? What is going to happen is that it is going to be 0. This time it will become 0. But what is happening now is that x value is increasing to 33. And when you are adding x plus y, this time your condition is true, correct? See?
Can you repeat this?
Which part?
Slide. Y equal to 0, x equal to 32.
Right. So see here, when you divided 3 by 3, right? You divided 3 by 3, right? What is the remainder?
What? In 0, sorry, 0.
Remainder is
0.
remainder is 0. What is the quotient? What is the quotient? Quotient is 1, right? This is what the quotient is. Correct? Did you understand or not?
Yes, sir.
No, sir. I can't.
You did not understand that. Okay. So what was the last value that you came here with? You came here with a value of, it was 3, right?
Yes.
This was the value you came here with. Correct. Let me just see if I can go back. Let me just see if it allows me to go back. No, it doesn't. Okay. Let me start it one more time and let me reach till where we were. Okay. Hardly it will take 2 minutes and we'll be coming back again so that you can understand. Okay. So now we have already seen that this everything was going fine so far, right? Everything is going fine so far. So I will stop only when the value of, now you see the value of y is 3, right?
Yes.
This is where we were. Now I'm dividing 3y by 3 and I'm trying to find the integral part of it. And when I do that, it is giving me 1. So far everything is fine, right?
Yes.
Right? And when I went back, this time the value of x plus y c is 28. So this condition is not true, correct?
Yes.
So we will go back again and 1 is greater than 0, right?
Yes.
1 is greater than 0. So we came inside. Now you are trying to divide 1 by 3. When you divide 1 by 3, what is the quotient? It will be 0 point something, correct?
Yes.
So integral part is 0.
Yes.
It is going to take 0. So y value became 0 now. And then you increase the value of x by 6. So it became how much? It became 33.
33. Yes.
Now x plus y became how much? X plus y became 33. 33 is greater than 0.
Yes. Sir.
So it will come inside. Now 33 modulus 3 equal to 0.
Yes.
Yes. What happened is that it went inside, it printed x. So what it
X.
printed? It printed 33. Right? Now your c is becoming c is equal to c divided by 5. 33 divided by 5. What is the integral part? 6.
Yes.
6 it is. And then
Yes,
both the conditions are false now. Y greater than 0? No. 0 greater than 0? No. So it will
No.
come out and it will print c. And when it is printing c, what was the last value of c that you had? 6.
6.
Understood?
Yes.
So this is how the whole program is working. Now the same thing can be done in your notebook also. But for that, you need to understand how the flow of the program is going. Getting it?
Yes.
Right? That is the reason I wanted to show you that this is called debugging what I did, where I went line by line and saw the value, how the value of the variables are getting updated, how each value is getting updated. That is one thing. Second thing is that you might not have this luxury of doing it in the editor. But what can happen is that through this process, you can understand what we are actually doing. And then later on, once you go through 4 problem, 5 problem, 6 problem like this, then you will be understanding how the flow is going. And next time you don't need an editor, you can have it in your notebook also. Because what we were doing in the editor, right, before it went to the next line, we were discussing the answer and you were answering it right, correct? That what is the value of X now? What is the value of Y now? What is the value of C now? Is the condition true? Is the condition false? Where it will go from there? Whether the condition is true? No, it is not true. So it went back to the outer loop. We went through the flow. Getting it? But for that to know, you need to have some practice with you, right? To understand how the flow of the program works. Okay. We will. So do we have time? Can I take one more problem or like?
Yeah, we have time. So Vivek sir, just to pause at this point of time. So the issue is that students will not have a code editor when they go for the exam.
I understand, sir. What I was wanted to tell you is that you, before you go for the examination, you will prepare yourself.
Yeah.
Right. And you can prepare yourself at home. And when you are preparing yourself, then you take the help of the code editor, because then only you'll be able to understand the flow of the program.
So
that was the whole idea.
So basically what we are seeing is in the Infosys test, since they are not giving you a code editor or a coding problem, but even if they are not giving you a coding problem, they are giving you a pseudocode problem, which is as of the same difficulty level as trying to solve a coding problem. And so that is very tricky. That is very tricky.
I'll tell you, sir, one thing, when you are giving you a pseudocode and then they want you to take an answer, it becomes much more difficult than writing the actual code. Because when you're writing the actual code, at least the compiler will tell you whether you are doing it in a right way or wrong way. You will get some output with wrong only. Right. But with pseudocode, you don't even know what is going to happen. Like until the moment I wrote this code here, sir, and you'll see the code which is here, it is all appearing like, Greek and Latin, because here nothing is mentioned which part is getting over where. Right. Here you look at this, they have not even mentioned the while loop is getting over where. This right C is a part of this part, or this right C is outside the loop. They have not mentioned anything. Nothing is being mentioned. And that makes the difficulty level harder. And then you can understand only by taking certain assumptions. You try to put this C inside and then you match with the answer. What is the answer that you are getting? And then you will get to know, sir. So this is more about more sort of practice. Only earlier program was like, more of a theory-based questions where you understand the concept, you can answer. But this problem becomes more of a practice where you need good amount of practice, 20, 25, 30 hours of practice. You have seen some 50, 60 questions like of these sort. Then you can approach. Otherwise, you will get lost into this while loop forever. You will never be able to come out of it.
So basically, when you are okay, yeah, go ahead, Shubhodip.
Yes, Subodhip.
Sir, how can we practice the pseudocode without code editor?
Pseudocode, like, so for Subodhip, you need to understand dry run in that case. How dry run works, right? You need to understand dry run, and this is what I was telling you. How dry run works is that what you do with dry run is that you make a table. You make a table, and in that table, what you do is that in one side you write a line number, in the other side you write all the variables that you have. That how many variables we have, X, Y, and Z. So you write X, then you write Y, then you write Z, then you have C. Now you mention line number to all the code: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then 14. Now you start with line number 1. What is happening in line number 1? You are setting the integer X, Y, Z. So all the values, I can give it a 0 value for the time being. Then in line number 2, what you're doing is that you're setting X to 3. So I updated the value of X to 3. Then in line number 3, what you're doing is that you're setting Y to 90. So I'll change the value of Y to 90. And like that, you keep on doing it. And when you come across a loop, like here you see while loop is there and this while loop is getting over here, then from line number 13, you go back to line number 4 again. You start with line number 4 again. This is what you do. You make a complete table and then you keep on updating the values of each of the variable in that table. And by the time your program comes out, by the time you reach that line, which is the end, line number 14, then you see what is the value of x and y and z, the final value of x, y, and z that you have. That is going to be your answer.
So, but in exam, it will be very lengthy process.
You don't have any other choice, Subodhip. You don't have any other choice. If you do not do dry run, then you are at the mercy of God, whether your answer is going to be true or not. Right? Of course, it is going to be lengthy. Of course, it is going to be lengthy to start with. But with more practice, you do not have to go line by line. What you will do is that what I am going to do right now, x, y, z, and c. What is the value of x? X value is 3. What is the value of y? Y value is 90. What is the value of z? Nothing. So while greater than while is greater than 0, yes, y value is greater than 0. So you come inside. Y equal to y by 3, it became 30. X value is x plus 6, it became 9. C value is x plus y. What it became? It became 39. Then 39 greater than 0, yes, the condition is true. So C modulus 39 modulus 3 is equal to 0. Yes, you printed x. What is the value of x? The value of x is 3. The value of x is 9. You printed 9 here. Then write y, else write y. Then you made C equal to C by 5. C by 5, 39 divided by 5, how much it became? It became C divided by 5, it became how much? 7, right? It became 7 here. Then then you go back again. Is the loop true? Y is greater than 0? Yes, 30 is greater than 0. You come inside. Y equal to y by 3, it became 10. Like that you do. You don't go by line in that case. You just write the value of the variables, you keep changing it, and you repeat in your head. You repeat in your head whether the condition is true or not. But that will only happen once you have some amount of practice, right? If I directly teach you to put half of the, like if you remember your school days, Subhadeep and Raj, what you did in your school days is that in order to write 11 plus 12 also you did in your notebook, isn't it? 2 plus 1 is 3, 1 plus 1 is 2. So the answer is 23. You remember those days? Right? And now you do not have to put it in the notebook. You directly know 11 plus 12 is 23. True. How it happened? You happened with practice. Similarly here, you have to write those things in the initial days. But with practice, what will happen is that you do not have to write everything. You do not have to make the complete table. Half of the things you can do mentally, half of the things you can do in a notebook. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, so Raj sir, Vivek sir, thank you for taking us through the two codes, and as we go ahead during this year, we shall keep on solving question papers of various companies so that students get a practice in terms of understanding how each company is similar or is different in terms of assessing students and preparing for that. And what happens is, if we look at the kind of courses and modules that we are building, these are the kind of things we are addressing over there. And our aim is to build a module or a product in which we do provide the kind of differences that various companies have. It will take a little bit of time, but these are the kind of practical things that we are adding on to it. So with that, we shall close today's session. And thank you for joining, students. It was wonderful to interact with you. You participated a lot on this. And I hope it has been useful. Shubhadeep, I see Raj has left the session, but Shubhadeep, has it been useful for you?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay, very good. So I will look forward to you and more students to join it, join our sessions and take the learning experiences from Vivek sir and take advantage of that and do well in your placements. Thank you, Vivek sir, once again. And we shall close the session today here. And we look forward to the students joining this session again next week. Thank you so much. Good night to all of you. Bye-bye.
Yes.